Hey yo, what up, fans of the sport? What up? It's Lemek with Selah Sports TV back at it again. Chill. Well, fight date is here. These guys will be putting on their gloves and stepping into the ring tomorrow night. So it's only right that we come with a fight prediction because, call me crazy, but uh, we talk about faces of the sport, and to me, there's only one guy behaving and getting the fights that a face of the sport will get. And I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but it's this guy right here. This guy. Not this guy. It's this guy. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. This guy, he's getting all the money and he's, you know, he got a country behind him and all that other bullshit. Right? But he's not living up to the role, to the title of face of the sport. Right? He's not giving any fans any fights that they asked for. Right? His last few fights, nobody asked for them. Nobody asked him to fight Belonga, even though that fight hasn't happened yet. Nobody asked him to fight him. Right? Nobody asked him to fight Jamel Charlo. Nobody asked him to fight Munguia. Nobody asked him to fight Triple G for the third time. Right? Hell, nobody asked him to fight Bivol. He thought he was going to go up there and pick a sweet cherry off a tree. He thought that. Why do I say he thought that? Because he ain't been up there since. He ain't sniffed around up there since that ass whipping. He ain't been up there. But anyway, we talking about a real legend of the sport right here, right? Now here's the thing about boxing. The sport of boxing don't give a fuck about your legendary status. The sport of boxing don't give not one fuck about your legendary status. The sport of boxing will escort you the fuck out of the sport with the most disrespect ever. Right? The sport of boxing will embarrass you out of the sport. Like if you don't recognize when it's time to walk away, the sport of boxing will rudely show you that it's time to walk away. Right? So here we are with Terence Crawford stepping up to 154 to face a champion, right? A WBA champion, Israil Madrimov. Over the past few months, I've had some time to look at Madrimov. He only has 10 fights, right? So it's not a whole lot to pick from as far as professionally. Now, he has over 300 amateur fights, right? The guy has a lot of fights. He has a lot of experience. A lot of fucking experience, right? You can see right here, he's the bigger guy facing off against Crawford. What did I see? I'm going to start off with Madrimov because we know Crawford by now, right? We know what he brings to the table. Madrimov, though. What did I see? Saw some basic, some decent foot speed, right? Decent foot speed. Hand speed looks a little slow for me. Hands look a little slow for me, right? But foot speed, he can move around a bit. Above average jaw, right? I seen this guy take some shots. And I kept hearing about his defense is good. His defense, I don't see the defense so much. I see this guy eating a lot of right hands, a lot of backhands, period. I see him eating a lot of them now. As you can see, the size of his head, the guy's head is huge. Pause. But like this guy, he got one of the medulla oblongatas on his shoulders, right? So it might be kind of a tough nut to crack, as far as getting him out of there. But as far as hitting this guy, he's there to be hit. He's there to be hit. Now, what Madrimov has to come into this fight and do against Crawford is overwhelm him. He's going to have to show him from start to finish, you don't belong up here, old man. Right? Do I think Terence Crawford's an old man? No. No, not at all. Not at all. But This is what Madrimov has to convince Crawford. Madrimov has to convince Crawford that he's the old man. He don't belong up there at 154. And from start to finish, this is what you're going to get. Me punching on you everywhere. That's what Madrimov has to do. He has to overwhelm him. If you remember back to Roy Jones and James Toney, one of my favorite fighters of all time, by the way. But if you remember, Roy Jones was the younger guy coming in that fight, and he just overwhelmed Toney. He overwhelmed him. It was a different type of overwhelming. Like, he overwhelmed him with quickness. Like, Toney couldn't lay a finger on him, but he could hit Toney whenever he wanted. Right? Still to this day, I hate talking about that fucking fight. Like, I hate that. I really, it was a time for a while after that. I didn't like Roy Jones after that. You got to remember, I was a kid watching boxing, so James Toney is like one of my guys, and I just seen him get taken apart like that. You know, it was. But that's the kind of performance that we're gonna have to see from Madrimov is gonna have to have one of those magical performances, right? Memorable, magical performance, right? He's gonna have to do that. As for Terence Crawford is coming into the ring with a wealth of experience advantage, right? Huge experience advantage. I think he has a pretty big speed advantage as well, even with him being the older guy. Now, as far as moving around the ring and all that, I think Madrimov might do more of that than Crawford. Crawford is not really trying to move around the ring like that. Crawford's main thing now is getting his feet into position to punch, right? To counter. So I think we'll see more of that. What I think we could end up seeing is I think it'll be a decent fight, you know, for the first few rounds. But we've seen this show before. We've seen this before, and I know they're trying to spook this guy up. Oh yeah, he's a much bigger guy, and Crawford's in trouble, and this and that. Prediction time, okay? Prediction time. Here's what I see in this fight. Now, I don't think Crawford is going to come out balls to the wall first, second round and get his guy opportunity to catch him with something lucky. I don't think that. I think Crawford's going to feel him out, you know, slow him down, slow his pace down, and have the fight go at Terence Crawford's pace, right? Have it become a chess match so that you can turn into a battle of intellect. As long as the fighter is a battle of intellect, Crawford will win. If this thing comes down to a firefight, shootout, like what Crawford allowed himself to get into with Mean Machine, fight could get a little dicey, right? He could lose. Like, one thing about fighting is keeping your advantage and keeping your opponent away from his advantage, right? So going into this fight, if you fight it like the way he fought Mean Machine, you basically, not saying that you have to lose, but you definitely giving your opponent an opening. I think this fight, for the first early on, for the early going of the fight, I think it's interesting. You know, a lot of pawing back and forth, and fighting for lead foot advantage type stuff. And then I think once Crawford sees what he needs to see, because this guy Madrimov, he can be hit, bro. And yes, I get it. He can take a punch. He can take a really, really, really good punch. But Crawford's different, man. I'm telling you. Crawford is a little bit different, man. If he starts hitting you with shots you don't see, things could go downhill really early. Which leads me to my pick. I don't see anything like at first when I'm looking at Madrimov on the surface. Excellent fighter, right? Excellent fighter, and I favor Madrimov to beat most of these other guys at 154. As far as Jamel Charlo, I'm not sure about that. I'm not gonna just disrespect Jermell Charlo like that. This guy was undisputed champion. So I'm not going to disrespect him. I would have to see Madrimov against him, right? But I like Madrimov against a lot of these guys, most of them. But Terence Bud Crawford, though, it's levels to this, man. I see a lot of spots where Madrimov, I've seen him move straight back quite a bit. I've seen him get tired, right? I've seen him, now he does go, he breaks guys down to the body, and I think he does a really, really, really good job of that. Madrimov goes to the body quite a bit, and he goes down there with accuracy. It's very good. So that's something Terence Crawford has to look out for. But as far as prediction, I got Crawford in round 7. TKO. That's what I got. I don't think he puts this guy to sleep at all, but I do think he starts making him look bad and make the referee get in there and stop the fight. Right? That's what I got. Just a little side note. One thing we know is that Canelo is rooting for Madrimov, big time. Canelo is rooting for Madrimov to either win or make Crawford look human, right? If either one of those things happen, the Crawford Canelo fight goes away, right? Nobody will be asking Crawford to move up to 168 to fight Canelo if you struggle with this guy at 154, right? That's just a fact. Now, I don't give a fuck what he does. I don't care if Crawford comes out and KO this guy in one round. I'm still not asking for him to fight Canelo. Because I just don't like it. I don't like the jump. Crawford moves up, picks up that much weight. What do we think we're going to see at 168? We think he's just going to still be that same guy? He's going to be pudgy as hell. He's going to be pudgy as fuck. And he's probably thinking, look, Canelo pudgy. I could do what he do at 168. But I don't think it's that simple. I just don't think it's that simple. Like when you start talking about bone density and shit like that, I don't think it's that simple of saying, well, this guy, that guy's been up there competing at that weight. Crawford just moving up there, I don't like it. I don't like it. But one thing Canelo don't like is Canelo don't want any challenge. A good way of assuring that you will never get a Canelo fight is by asking for it. You know why? Because if you ask Canelo for a fight, that means you ain't scared enough. And he don't want to fight people that ain't scared. He don't want to fight people that want to know. The way you get a Canelo fight is acting like you scared. Look the other way, right? You got to act like you scared of him and act grateful and all that. I can't do it. God wants you to kiss his ass and all that shit, and then you get a fight with him. Get the fuck out of here. Get the absolute fuck out of here. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this fight tomorrow. One thing that you know on this channel, we give it up no matter what. We're going to give it up. Hopefully both guys go out, show and prove, and put on a good fight for the fans. Probably will do another video for some of the other picks, but I did want to get this one out there. Anyway, that's all I got. If you like the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.